Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday morning Dharma service. We're just going to do a few minutes of stretching so you can remain right where you are. And let's just go ahead and relax the shoulders away from the ears, relax the knees and thighs. Notice the sensation you're feeling in your hips as you release those muscles a little bit further. We're going to take our hands together in front of the heart center, and connecting to the breath, we'll take a nice big inhale and reach the arms up overhead, lengthen the side body. And as you come to your slow exhale, turn to the right, bringing both arms down. Maybe the back of the left hand presses against the knee, and the right hand reaches behind you. Let both shoulders relax away from the ears. Take another big inhale here. And a long, slow exhale, relaxing even more. And then your next inhale, you come back to center again, reach up overhead. Maybe you go a little bit taller, maybe not. And then exhale towards the windows, a beautiful Catskill Mountain view. Again, releasing both shoulders. Notice if you're gripping again in your hips and see if you can relax there again. Take one more big inhale. And long, slow exhale. And on your next inhale, come back to center again. Raise the arms up overhead. Take a moment just to interlace the fingers and press up towards the ceiling. Breathing into the side body, into the arms. When you come to your next exhale, release the arms. And bring the fingertips to the floor. So that means you're going to need to tilt a little bit on the pelvis. So we'll still lift up out of the shoulders. Fingertips are lightly touching the floor. We'll inhale. And on the exhale, soften the knees and thighs as you just gently hinge forward. Maybe keeping the spine straight or rounded, whatever feels comfortable for you today. When you come to another inhale, back up a little bit. And then on your exhale, see if you can go a little bit further. Try to stay relaxed in the face and the upper body. A lot of sensation in the hip of the leg that's in front. Breathing into the shoulders and the back. And then inhale, slowly walk back up again. Take a moment to bring the hands behind you this time, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift the heart. Try not to look any further than where the wall meets the ceiling, unless you're already comfortable with dropping the head. Most people are not, but it's up to you. Take another inhale into the front body. Exhale, relax, bring the hands back to the knees. And go ahead and change now so that the opposite leg is in front. So you'll notice right away that one hip feels a little less open than the other, vice versa. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Come on in, welcome. Exhale, slide the hands down the center line, bring the fingertips to the floor, and we'll do the same as we just did. Hinging forward at the hip crease. The spine can be either straight or rounded, whatever feels good for you. When we come to an inhale, we're going to back up a little bit. And then on your exhale, fold a little further if that's available to you today. Go ahead and let the head drop now. Let the head be nice and loosey-goosey, and maybe nod your head, yes, yes, yes. Releasing any tension in the neck and shoulders. And gently shaking your head side to side. No, no, no. And then engaging your abdominal muscles. Inhale, bring yourself back up again. And we're going to bring the feet together, if that's possible, in front of you. And they don't need to be close to the body. You can make a big triangle if you want to. It's not really a triangle. What is that shape? I'm not quite sure. Inhale, we'll lengthen up. If you're in your chair, you can maybe slide your feet towards each other. Exhale again, we're going to hinge forward at the hip crease here. Try not to hinge forward at the waist. So straight back. Maybe the elbows come in front, maybe they don't. Doesn't really matter. Maybe reach for your feet. And then again, round the back, let the weight of the head go. So you're focusing on opening the hips here, opening the shoulders, and then draw the belly muscles in as you roll back up again. Take a moment to slide the right leg out and the left foot in. So right away you feel a sensation on the inside of that thigh probably. That's what we're trying to get at a little bit here. So we bring the right hand to the inside of the thigh. We're going to turn a little bit towards the bent knee. Bring the left arm up and then just gently side bend. Doesn't matter how far you go. Just be mindful of sensation in the body. Never go into a place of pain. But you're opening up the side body here. Beautiful stretch. You can flex that right foot. Take another breath here, in and out. And then inhale that arm up. Bring that hand down to the floor and just gently raise the opposite arm and reach towards the windows. Nice stretch here. Inhale, come back up again. Good job. Now we're going to change sides. Opposite leg comes out, right foot comes in, turning towards the bent knee, placing the left hand to the inside of that knee, and we're going to inhale the right arm up, and then side bend, sliding that hand down again. Don't worry about how far you go. Just focus on the side body. Breathe there. Should feel good. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale yourself back up, bring the right hand to the floor, and reach the opposite arm up and across the ear towards the other side of the room. Inhale, come back up again. Bring both legs straight out in front of you and allow there to be a nice bend in the knees here. Unless you're really, open in those muscles. Some people can bring the knees down a little bit. It's not a contest. It's just honoring where you are today. And we're going to start with the fingertips at the top of the thigh. Again, with a straight back, but softness in the upper body and face. Hinging forward at the hips. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hinge forward, just simply walking the fingertips down the legs. And then when you get to the place where you feel like, okay, that's as far as I'm going to go, you can round the back then. Just let the head fall. Let the shoulders relax. Let the elbows and forearms fall towards the floor. Breathe into the back body. Let the head just be nice and heavy here. One more inhale and exhale. Folding over your legs. And then engage your abdominal muscles. Begin to slowly walk your fingertips back up again. And take your time. I think Ginger would like us to be standing. So we're just going to take our time to come to stand any way you wish. In front of your mat, please. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Good morning, everyone. This is One Dharma Center Sunday Dharma service, and our practice will continue in bowing posture. So we'll make 4 full bowing to the Dharmakaya Buddha fourfold grace. Now join your palms together in your heart center, with our minds and hearts together, with gratitude. I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Now please find your neighbor meditation buddies and we'll make bow to each other. And welcoming our friends. And see who's here. Now please be seated. Sitting meditation practice continues. Today, Kathy will guide us to the method of seated meditation.
Sit comfortably in a cross-legged position and align your head and spine in an upright seated posture. Allowing the tension to release in the body, gently bring all the body's energy down to the lower abdomen. Without dwelling on even one thought, be aware only of the energy that is gathered there. It is important to keep your eyes open to help keep drowsiness away. With your eyes half closed, let your gaze rest approximately 3 feet in front of you. Your mind should be equally alert and calm. It is ever alert in its calmness and ever calm in its alertness. And if your mind becomes dim, collect it to refresh the spirit. If it lapses into wandering thoughts, restore the spirit with right mindfulness. Beginners at sitting meditation may suffer from aching legs, or intrusion of idle and wandering thoughts. If your legs ache, you may occasionally switch their position. If you are troubled by wandering thoughts, merely recognize them as intrusive thoughts, and they will vanish by themselves. Return awareness to your breathing again and again. If you continue practicing in this manner as a daily practice, through time you will ultimately forget the distinction between yourself and others. You will forget time and place and rest in the genuine realm of stillness and non-duality. You will rejoice in unparalleled spiritual bliss.
comes to meditation, there are many forms. Now please join us in chanting meditation. Page 3. Today we'll chant Youngju spiritual chant. Together we'll read Prayer for World Peace. Page 3, Youngju.
영주 천지연기 아심정 만사여예 아심통 천지여하동일체 아여 천지동심정 천지연기 아심정 만사여예 아심통 천지여하동일체 아여 천지동심정 천지연기 아심정 만사여예 아심통 천지여하동일체 아여 천지동심정 천지연기 아심정 만사여예 아심통 천지여하동일체 하여 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 천지동심정.
Palms together. Prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharma Kaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma. With compassion and wisdom, may we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. Sutra Chanting Meditation, page 4.
일원상방 일원 is the of samadhi beyond and spans the gateway of birth and that transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Here one manifest at birth, permanence and impermanence, fused as permanence, in one unfolds into an infinite worth that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just that it is fused at impermanence, in one unfolds into infinite worth through the cycle of formation extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. Four forms of birth we transform through the 6 forms of existence, progressing, regressing with grace, arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after it once sung the Dharma Kaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply. Know human affairs and universal principles thought, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of one and become one with the nature of one. Hearts to draw. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practicing Prajnaparamita, realized that the 5 aggregates are empty, and thus became free from all suffering and distress. So Shariputra does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. In emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no will, no fire, no tongue, body, or mind, consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva relies on Prajnaparamita. Therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Free from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on Prajnaparamita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not false, so proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra, which says gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken, gate, gate, para, gate, Parasamgate Bodhisvagate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvagate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvagate.
Now you may gently, slowly move around your body as you put your hands on your knees. Move your shoulders, your neck and head. Bring your arms up high and wiggle and stretch. And release your hands down. Every once in a while, we invite our practitioners and listen to their stories on how they apply Dharma teachings in their life. This morning, we are happy to have Steve Hahdcock, Won Jung-hyun Nim, and listen to his talk. So he's going to share about his practice of Dharma journaling. So please greet Steve.
Morning. So for me, what is old is new again. For my grandparents' generation, keeping a diary was something that was just done. My recollection of what they did mostly was journal daily events. For example, what the weather was like, who visited, and so on. My paternal grandfather faithfully kept a diary for most of his adult life. When you started routinely practicing meditation, was it initially easy for you? How has your meditation changed as your practice has grown over time? For me, starting a Dharma journal was like starting to practice meditation. I had dabbled in the past by keeping a journal, but I had stopped some time ago. After I became a Won Buddhist, though, I heard many times that keeping a journal is important. Therefore, I chose to start the practice again to learn how it might benefit me as a Buddhist practitioner. This morning, I wish to share with you a little about my journaling journey and show how it has benefited me. Founding Master Sotasan shares 4 reasons to keep a daily diary in the scriptures. 2 of the reasons that the Founding Master shares resonates with me. The first reason that I identify with Founding Master Sotasan, quoting, "The idea behind having practitioners keep a record of the handling of the function of their bodies and minds is so that we may appraise our right and wrong conduct for the day and know the balance of the transgressions or merits we may have made, and to illuminate the right and the wrong, benefit or harm, so as to gain the ability to make choices whenever we engage in any kind of activity." The second reason is the idea behind having practitioners keep a record of their awakening and impressions are that they may assess or progress in understanding the principles of a great and small, being and non-being involved in them. These thoughts are also echoed in an article written by Grace Song Kimonim, which states, "Keeping a daily diary means having practitioners record whether their handling of affairs was a mindful or unmindful, the state of their study, and whether or not they transgressed the precepts." We all process thoughts, ideas, experiences in different ways. Some of the times we just do it in our heads, but there may be some benefit in doing it and writing it down routinely in our daily lives. So consequently, in preparing for this Dharma talk, I did a literature search to help prepare for it. Several of the articles that I had found documented the benefits of journaling. Journaling can help deal with stress, anxiety, and depression. It may even help you heal more quickly. So for this and other reasons is why I journal. It is part of my morning routine of meditation and scripture reading. One benefit I get is that it's a way to force myself to pause and review something that has transpired. It could be negative or positive, a condition, but by keeping the diary, I can prepare myself when conditions in the future arise and use what I have learned or reflected upon as being a one Buddhist. It is easy to reflect on negative conditions because of all the thoughts, feelings, and etc. It elicits within us. It is equally important, though, that we should also reflect and journal and think about positive conditions, because we need to be looking at what attachments do we have to what happened in this positive condition and what may it lead us to. Whether negative or positive, reflecting and writing about it can help us learn how to scrutinize what transpired and lead us to a search for the underlying attachments, thoughts, feelings we might have, to start to unravel what has transpired in the past and how we might make changes for the future. This can be scary and hard. I know, I'm living it. Before becoming a one Buddhist, I did not feel I dared to look inside myself and discover ways to cultivate my mind. Founding Master Sotasan's scripture, the Kumonims, and the Sangha have helped me to find courage and skill to dedicate myself to journaling. My advice to you is to first start with baby steps. Start with what you feel comfortable with and develop from there. I've been doing journaling regularly for about 3 years now, and how I journal has changed over the past time, and it's evolved. From her tricycle article, Grace Song Kimonim offers some additional advice. One powerful advice of the mindful journey is the practice of stopping and identifying the trigger of a disturbance and the thoughts or emotions that arise in that moment. We often fail to recognize when a disturbance happens, especially when we're on autopilot and can't stop to take inventory of the cause of the complicated emotions. But when we fail to pause in a challenging situation, it's easy to revert to old patterns and react to negative thoughts of overpowering feelings. Consistent, mindful journaling helps us to develop the strength to cease reacting to situations that provoke us. In One Buddhism, one way that we can put into practice what Reverend Grace is saying is the threefold practice. The threefold practice in One Buddhism is cultivating spirit, inquiry into facts and principles, and choice and action. Among these three practice subjects, journaling is one way to cultivate wisdom through inquiry into facts and principles. I've recently started a new practice in journaling within the last month or two to reflect and write down how I used the threefold practice with a condition that arose on the previous day. I start thinking about how I cultivated the spirit using the word samadhi. I then write down what I did or did not do to have a meditative pause during the instance. I reflect on my inquiry of what happened by writing down the word prajna. I wish to learn and record if my natural wisdom was used and what to extent. Reviewing it again, was there something different in how I could have done this part of the practice? Finally, I reflect on the choice and action by writing the word sila to evaluate if I have had the right thought, right speech, and right actions. Again, what, if anything, could I have done differently in the future or do differently in the future? Along with using the threefold practice, I identify the underlying causes of the thoughts and feelings I might have to examine and unravel them. What in my past may help to elicit these thoughts and feelings? What can I do differently the next time to have a different outcome? Also to use or have tumbling thoughts to look at what happened from another's perspective. I also now choose to end my week by reflecting on what happened during the week and the writing a summary using samadhi, prajna, and sila to reflect and review the week of the past. There are other ways that I use my journal, and it may not always be self-reflection. As I mentioned, my morning routine consists of meditation, reading, and journaling. If I find what I read to have a special meaning, I will note it in my journal so that I may go back another time to read it again. I have started to reread the founding master Sotasan's scripture. The journal is a good way for me to learn what growth I have made in my journey as a Won Buddhist. What passage did I cite in the past? What do I cite now? Have my thoughts or feelings about the passages changed since the last time I read them? Admittedly, I don't do this as much as I did in the past. The main reason is because now I'm doing much more reflection. Another aspect of reflection that I oftentimes do and write in my journal is what I'm doing right now, is the Dharma talks that the Kyumonims or Sangha members may give. Think about them during the day, Sunday afternoon, and yes, that's one way to process and kind of integrate it into myself, but then also by journaling it, and writing it down, I'm also kind of memorializing it and making it a little bit more permanent as well, and helps me think through a little bit more about it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all inner reflection for cultivation and growth purposes. Your journal is a place to celebrate your successes, to document your progress. Here's an example of how I documented progress in my journal recently. This is something and I want to share with you now. A quote from me and from my journal. I'm going to have a conversation with someone today that may trigger some negative perceptions, impulses, etc. in me due to prior interactions with this person. I reflected on what I wrote actually a year or more ago, 2 years ago, about another difficult conversation that I was going to have at that time. Because of my practice, I'm able today to allow my original mind, for the most part, to guide me in the conversation. The conversation that I had with this person went great, actually, and I do credit that a lot to my practice and the ways that I practice Won Buddhism. Another value I've found in journaling is to periodically, every 6 months or so, whatever you feel like, go back and read what I wrote 6 months, a year, 2 years ago. What has changed? Have I made any positive changes? Am I stuck on thinking or doing something and need to make a change? Who can help me progress in my cultivation? Now that I've started using the threefold practice to reflect on what has happened during an instance or on a weekly basis, I'm looking forward to reading in the future what I wrote using this new method of journaling and gauge what, if any, progress I've made in cultivating my practice. I also use my journal to write down thoughts that I have had that need further investigation, such as the thought I had not too long ago about me and not me. And we've all heard this a lot of different ways, but it dawned on me that letting go of my delusions and ego, the me, and being in the original mind is not me. And I've also thought about using this as a mantra as well while I'm meditating. To conclude, I found my experience in starting and keeping a Dharma journal is similar to when I started to meditate. I first needed the motivation to start to routinely practice meditation. Once I started, I dedicated myself to practicing meditation every day. I have routinely meditated for 5 years now. Has my meditation practice changed in 5 years? I would say so, hopefully for the better. I learned that meditation does work and help. However, this is meditation the only practice that may help me grow and improve. Meditation was the starting place, though, but also a motivation for me to start journaling. Once again, I dedicated myself to routinely keep a Dharma journal. As I said before, I've been journaling for about 3 years now. I hope I've demonstrated to you during this talk that my journaling practice has changed over time, continues to benefit me more and more. I do feel that journaling has helped me to grow and improve my overall practice. So, What do you think? Is keeping a daily journal something that you might want to start as part of your daily routine? Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Steve, for your informative and reflective talk. So, everybody, what do you think? Do you find his talk very meaningful to add this Dharma journaling practice to your practice routine in your life? Yeah, it's worth trying, right? And he mentioned about threefold practice in one Buddhism. So there are 11 subjects in one Buddhism practice as a Dharma tool, Dharma kit that you can develop in your life. And Dharma journaling is one of them, and is a good Dharma tool that really can help you improve your practice in your daily life. Thank you, Steve, for your talk. And if any of you would like to give a talk, please let me know. And it is a great way to improve and deepen your practice by sharing your stories and thoughts in this formal way of delivering the message. Now please turn your booklet, page 6. Let us read and recite essential dharmas of daily practice. Today, Pat will guide us to this reading.
The essential dharmas of daily practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all.
I have one thought to share today. It's about wearing a mask. As weather becomes chillier and we become more vulnerable to germs and bugs in this cold and flu season, nonetheless to say, we still need to be cautious of COVID. So, being said that, now I can remind you that we can always practice wearing a mask during this in-person gathering. So we'll prepare masks out there in the lobby, but you are welcome to bring your own mask from home. And it's not mandatory, but it's a recommendation for you and for us to respect and protect our own health and safety as well as others. And you're welcome to stay for sharing your companionship, having tea either in the lobby or out on the deck after this service. Now let us sing a song together as we conclude our service. Page 9. Morning Prayer Song, page 9.
Dharmakaya Buddha, for grace, I begin a new walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with your graces. Today, gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today, making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world.
This concludes our gathering today, and I'll see you next Sunday with mini meditation retreat program next Sunday.